Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. It's Shirley with Water Expands Upon Cooling, episode 6. And this is a very special, light-hearted episode. The moon is on the 22nd degree of Gemini, with the moon hour on a Venus day. So let's begin with some astrological reverence. First of all, let's give some reverence um, to the planet Venus. And Venus right now is invisible in the form of a Resh Kigal, and this is where we get psychic protection. Venus represents the voice, the appearance, the sensuality, but also the justice, the balance, and the aesthetic as morale, and not only as appearance. The Venus rules appearance as well, values, banking, profits, and another association with Venus is, of course, women and sisterhood. So let's welcome Resh Kigal with the deep wisdom and protection. And let's give reverence to the moon, to Selene. And goddess Selene is the goddess that gives courage, and she's the goddess of the moon. And the moon is the fastest moving planet that connects the celestial events to planet Earth from our vantage point on planet Earth. Also, as always, big reverence to deceased Nicola Stojanovic for his degree teachings and for his 22nd degree teaching, the degree of To Kill and Be Killed, and for Lada Duncheva for introducing us to his teachings on her channel on astrolada.com. And now, why did I say it's a special episode? It's a light-hearted episode. And I was, I guess, waiting for this degree because I tried to do this live, but it didn't work with the screen share, and I decided to record the video. And then the moon got to the 22nd degree. And I knew this is the time for me to record. While Uranus is on the 22nd degree and on my lot of spirit, yes, that is ruled by Venus, on 22nd degree, opposing my retrograde Mars in the 9th house in Scorpio. This is a good time to give reverence to anything associated with assassination prevention, murder prevention, and any such thing, okay? Cold cases, any such things, and to do with the astrology and the science. Because of Uranus, we can have clear knowing, clear cognizance. It's the downloads that we get in regards to the degree of To Kill and Be Killed. Great time for assassination prevention, for solving cold cases, and using unusual methods to do so. And now I want to give a reverence and to talk about something that I saw, and something that is very, very special when we are talking about making those things like assassination, murder, all these morbid things, and these cold cases, and these heavy topics, making them accessible for the masses, the mass media of people to participate in the desire to abolish assassination or political assassination, protect whistleblowers, okay, like Julian Assange, that is in risk of assassination in the United States, and solve cold cases. This seems to be like, oh, this person was murdered, we don't know why, and then we still don't know why 10 years after. So we think, okay, this was a private case and maybe somebody knows something about this, and we think it's the single murderer that murdered a single person. Sometimes it is, but when it is not resolved for such long time, usually there is an outer planet involved. And you can watch my previous episode about this and Water Expands Upon Cooling, episode 5, when I addressed how we need to be ready as society to acknowledge the levels of analysis needed to solve cold cases, and how right now is great time to tend to cold cases and to things involving 2017. And I have an upcoming really special debut regarding that, in great reverence to WikiLeaks and Assange. Okay, one of the things that we deal with Gemini, we talk about media, and right now Mercury is conjuncting Aries on Andromeda constellation in Aries, is the topic of marketing. And how do you market solving cold cases to people? Okay, usually people go around the day. The politics induces pandemics here, wars there, lockdowns here. Okay, how do you even grab the attention of people to the topics of solving cold cases, to the topics of assassination prevention, to free whistleblowers, to free Assange? And one of the things that I learned when I was watching, beginning to watch episodes of Misdaad Geslafer by deceased Peter R. de Vries, and this is the ability to bring into the light a topic and make it entertaining for people to watch. Okay, so de Vries was a crime investigator, journalist, and he did a decade-long series called Misdaad Geslafer, basically solving cold cases of missing and murdered people. Very prominent figure in Netherlands and also outside, who was eventually assassinated himself. And when you watch the series itself, you see sometimes when I was watching, I would say, Netherlands is so small, and then I see a picture of, let's say, de Vries, de Vries, on a helicopter on the way to the crime scene. And the way that the shots are made, and you see difference between the beginning of the series and the later years. And the first thing, I smile. And also he's hiding a smile because he's enjoying it like a kid. And one of the things that struck me immediately, it was thought-provoking, because you think the topic is so heavy. You're looking at a woman who was murdered and her body was dropped into the river, and you're flying in a helicopter and then turning the engine on the BMW and so on. And so this is very entertaining to watch. You're with them, and it makes it like an action movie. And so some people would have a controversial view, which would add to the marketing value of the series. And at the end of the day, you catch the eye of the audience in the way that people might be talking about this tomorrow on the news. Or why is he allowing himself to do so and so? Why you need a helicopter to drive so and so? Now you have a provocational value. And now you got more and more people interested in talking about what you do. And now when you reach wider audiences, more and more people will hear about the cold case that you are addressing in this very episode. Okay, and so Uranus plays a huge role when it comes to this, and the importance of making it an entertainment allows for us to capture the attention of people. Okay, and so Moon on the 22nd degree of Gemini is emphasizing the way that we communicate things, the way that we continue on, whether it's activism or a campaign, and the value of entertainment beyond being kind of like yellow or captivating for the sake of being captivating. This is where when you make it entertainment, you actually are able to withstand tending to it. You are able to withstand delving into these topics. Okay, another good example for those of you who were X-Files fans with the PH, many of you remember the conspiracy episodes. So there was the mythology episodes, and then there were the standalone. I have to admit, I was more of a standalone fan. But I didn't know that the mythology were documentaries. Okay, if you watch WikiLeaks, you see one by one the leaked documents about all the projects from CIA records from whistleblowers. So this is, and you see that they took so many measures to threaten and even attempted to assassinate Julian Assange. So you see that they wouldn't make all this much effort if this was some Delulu person that that needed to, I don't know, be in his own like La La Land. They wouldn't put all that much effort to be through with him if he didn't have an essence of truth in this. Definitely not backed by documents when you can actually go to WikiLeaks and see it. And at that time, what the X-Files did, that was basically a series of episodes. Unfortunately, they also sexually harassed everybody on the set. I guess they had to do it for the cult. So now we know that the cult that make people visible, necessitate for people to commit crime to be a part of the cult. And this is the problem with secret societies. It's not that they're secret or that they have weird rights. Like you can wave your knight sword, but it's just nice, funny, I don't know. But when you have to commit crimes in order to be a part of an organization, secret or not, this is where the problem begins. However, when we're talking about a TV series, that was very entertaining, captivating, and made the American public, and first and then the wider public, watch for entertainment those supposed conspiracy theories in a framework where it was possible to discuss them. So this is where we go to another genre of method of expression, and this is the storytelling method of expression. It doesn't always work, and it doesn't mean that people are not treated like whistleblowers, as I can attest, not personally, but as the daughter of. So, and that is another way. And this episode mainly emphasizes the importance of having entertainment involved in cold case resolving and in assassination prevention, as well as the contribution of something like astrology when Uranus is on the 22nd degree. And the contribution of something like astrology, that people read horoscopes and astrologers cry about this because it's not, methodical enough. And there's a lot of controversy, another Uranian feature about astrology. And then there is the astrology of assassination, the astrology of cold cases, and how we can address things and look at things from another point of view, which also gives us a scientific advantage when we're talking about not intuitive, but innovative science. Okay, and as the moon is sextile in Aries and applying to sextile Mercury that conjunct Aries, this is a great time to talk about the philosophy of science involved with looking at cold cases and assassination cases from another point of view, including astrological point of view. And this is that in the beginning of every science, we really need, until the technology develops that allows us to observe a phenomena. This is late Larry Loudon's, the framework for my thesis. And this the theoretical framework for my thesis. And this is late Larry Lauder, 1990s, right before he went into law, philosophy of law, that says we need the innovators of science. And for you to be innovative in science, before the technology develops, you adopt intuitive methods, you adopt very relaxed standards for empiricism. Yes, he gives the case for geology. I have another case, which is chaos theory. And in the 60s, in the 70s, nobody gave a damn about chaos theory. You could not be vouch for anyone to do research. So students could not get instructors in the structure of academia. Addressed this in 2017 in the pre-Me Too era, and the implications of the structure on both the sexual health, the psychological health, and the quality of the science itself. And this is basically the church structure. It's nothing particularly against the church. It's just that this structure doesn't work for acquisition and innovation in science. And so this is another thing where we definitely need people to be relaxed about what is scientific, what is evidence, what is here, what is there. I'm sorry, when I'm looking at cold cases, even before I know the astrological prediction, and before I have any other evidence, I have a gut feeling, or I have something that says, look here, look at this case, open this case, open this link. Okay? It's an intuition. And we have the conservative science, okay? And then we have the people who, for every era, there would be another type of conservatism. As this is already my value, okay? Conservatism is also dynamic. What we call evidence-based today was not what we called it, I don't know, a century ago. ANOVA models I predict to perish very soon if the science is revived, which is happening right now in Pluto and Aquarius. And the academia itself has to catch up because people are falling away, whether because they've been harassed or plagiarized or life threatened, or all of the above. Or whether it is because people simply don't go with that. You see that it's no longer a vouch for science, and there are other places where you find way more fascinating truths that also apply better for various situations. And I think Pluto and Aquarius is great for that. And so when we are talking about both the value of entertainment, but also the unusual methods for looking at cold cases, Uranus on the 22nd degree of anything is excellent for that. I haven't seen when Uranus was, I will need to do research about the previous 22nd degrees of Uranus. But right now is so important, and particularly cases that are associated with Venusian things. So banking, entertainment industry, we've seen Jaguar Wright taking down the entire upper echelons of the black music entertainment industry, all the way back to Aaliyah's murder. And that's wow, that's like wow. Okay. And Jupiter haven't even started with Algol. And also we see cold cases to do with women, to do with anything that involves banking, and anything that involves, yes, even transportation like cars, and technology of cars, okay? So assassination through these methods, anything that is involving big technology and land, okay? So when we're talking about industrialized revolution and the casualties, so cold cases that are associated with that, Uranus is also the great social awareness. So great social awareness to murders, mass murders, murder cases, especially those that are a part of outer planets, because this is Uranus. maybe a part of changing orders, revolting in the changing orders. And yes, we also see protection over the voice of whistleblowers, truth being exposed right now with Rahu in Aries. And now when the moon is sextiling Aries in Aries and Mercury that's conjoining it in Aries, on Andromeda constellation, it is a time to reconcile the various faculties of science and point of views and provocative ways to look at things that were not previously considered. So, one thing I kind of owe you is to do research about the times where Uranus was on the 22nd degree of each sign and see what happened there. Okay? This is something that I owe you for another episode. Another thing that I owe you is an episode on Al-Qaeda, which is coming up, and the number 7. Well, an entire episode on the number 7 as well as the number 6. I need to look up the number 6 myself. This has been coming up a lot. But the number 7, we've seen it with ritual murders and torture of October 7. We've seen it with Vault 7 in 2017 when WikiLeaks exposed Vault 7, which basically was CIA spying on everybody. CIA going Linux. That's how I call it. And we've seen it, we've seen it coming up quite a lot, and it's also a number that's associated with Venus, with Saturn, and with Al-Qaeda. It is associated, I think, with the card the Hierophant, I'm not sure, or the Chariot, and is associated with democide, so multiple genocide, the destroyer of nations, but also protection from such political assassination and from such genocides. So the interception. Al-Qaeda is a very, very, very interesting episode to make, and it's an astrological value added that can perhaps help us both to understand and to avoid a democide. Okay, so this is kind of new information. Another thing that you see that's associated with entertainment is Sun in the 5th house. For example, when I was in Netherlands, my relocation chart, it wasn't relocation, it was another type of experience, but my Sun in Taurus was in the 5th house in Netherlands, and I did a lot of painting and a lot of uncovery of things, and very, very fascinating things that I'm delivering here right now. But now the Sun is in the 3rd house. So Sun in the 5th house is definitely recreational, is entertainment. Whatever it will do, it will make it entertaining. Yes, so perhaps it's better for me to do this series from Netherlands, but it's difficult, and then I would be ruled by Saturn, which would still be, I think, yes, it would still be, it would still be out of sect, but that would make it more possible. I don't know if I will get to do it from there, or if it's possible for me not even to do it from there. But that definitely brings the entertainment level and the captivating level. It also, with Uranus, brings the provocation level. Another marketing strategist that has been using it a lot is, of course, the artist Beyonce. And Donald Trump. He's another media genius, and he has been using provocation a lot. And you see how you take from these people and from these controversial people, and when you want to bring in and to build in the excitement of people, you do it with that marketing strategy. And I originally called this episode Truth Sells / The Trustful, and of course, paying homage to the movie The Trustful that depicts the story of Julian Assange. Um, and this is about the desire to make truth sell. Okay, for truth to sell more than lies. Naturally, truth sells more than lies. I can tell you as a person that worked in marketing, the reason that I would be selling, if ever, and I was selling, I was quite successful, is because I always told the truth about the product. This is the good things, this is the bad things, this is where this serves you, this is where, according to what you said, it could answer your needs, this is what you have to be cautious. So the person would know the product, would know me, would know how to use the product, when yes, when no, and they would understand what they buy, have a realistic appraisal, very boring, but very effective, and people would be very satisfied with their purchases, simply because truth sells. Truth sells better than lies. You might not have every deal closed, but when you have a deal closed, people know the truth, then it's not about, oh, we recorded the conversation, then we said something very quickly. No, it's that the person genuinely buys the product. Unfortunately, you have to find products that fit this marketing strategy, and this is how I became unemployed. Okay. Yes, and by the time I employed myself again, it would be already involved with the eclipses of 2017, and now we're in 2024 that repeat these events, and things take precedence over me marketing, astrological readings to people. But perhaps there are more important things to market. For example, solving the cold cases, for example, continuing WikiLeaks, and there are many, many more things kind of no longer under the radar. And I'm very, very excited. And by the way, if I take a look at the synastry for me and for the person who inspired this series, Tilis Peter R. de Vries, and I know he was controversial character and so on, okay, but I confront the things he did, like defending the mink. I'm not, I'm me. That being said, when I looked at the composite, I saw a Mercury trining Uranus, which means media strategy, communication strategies, and I'm going to be milking every privileged drop of this composite aspect in favor of bringing into discussion those topics while being protected. And the next step is a good discussion about fixed star Alkaid and how it served me in 7th of October. It continues, to serve me, and how we can use Alkaid to prevent genocides and democide, which is even more associated with what it can prevent when we work with it magically. So this is Water Expand Upon Cooling. I hope you find this useful. I hope you are not discouraged by the prevalence of cults in the entertainment world, in the job market. And I hope you understand we are in transitional times, and that your aspiration for the truth is shared by many, many people. And when the many people do something, we act upon these aspirations, then these actions, like I said, the truth sells, and not only the truth sells, it sells so that the people are satisfied, and so the people are they're not going to flip on you the way that they would when you are doing psychological violence on them for them to close the deal, or for them to buy your idea. So this is this episode, and yes, I'll see you in the next episode of Water Expands Upon Cooling.